Hello guys, welcome to Online Web Tutor. I am Sanjay. We are learning Laravel 8 framework tutorial. This is our partner 53. Inside this video, we will start all about Laravel authentication. And inside this first video of authentication, we will see authentication using Bridge. Now if you go to the next tab, so if you are familiar with the Laravel versions, so as we know, this is Laravel 8 version. So before Laravel 8, inside older versions we have the authentication tool as Laravel UI. But now we have several authentication tools. So in Laravel 8 version, the first we have called Laravel Jetsream. So inside Jetsream, we have two options. Either we can use Livewire, and the second we can use Inertia Js. When we had the concept of Laravel older version, so in that situation we had used Laravel UI. While using this Laravel UI, we have very simple command to generate scaffolding features like login, registration, profile, forget password, and many more. But while going through this Laravel Jetsream, Taylor Auth has included several newly features, like we have second authentication factor and many more. While using with this latest version of Laravel Jetsream, many users complains that it is not very simple. So Taylor Auth has released another package for Laravel authentication that is very simple and very familiar as with the Laravel UI. So we have the new feature for the latest version as Laravel Bridge. So we will use inside this video all about this Laravel Bridge authentication. Keep in mind we have Laravel Jetsream. But while using this Laravel Jetsream, the files always has scaffolding features of all the authentication. It might be a bit complicated, but Laravel Bridge is very simple. So if I back to browser, so here we have the feature of Laravel UI. This is for the older versions of Laravel. If you are familiar, then you have used the Laravel UI for the authentication. When you run this command, if I make some zoom, here is the command to generate our scaffolding, or let's say to install first Laravel UI, and these are the features. After going through and installing via Artisan, we had generated our scaffolding features. Now in the latest version, we have Laravel Jetsream. So inside this Jetsream concept of authentication, we can see or find many more newly added features. Like Jetsream provides the perfect starting point of your next Laravel application, including login, registration, email verification, two-factor authentication, session management, API via Sanctum, and etc. Also, Jetsream is designed using Tailwind CSS and offers us to choose Livewire or Inertia scaffolding. So if we are working over web application, then we need to use Livewire, or let's say we need to use Inertia when we are working with Vue Js application. So it totally depends on us how we are proceeding in our application development. So while going through Laravel Jetsream authentication tool like Livewire and Inertia Js, many users, developers file complaint that this package is not too much comfortable. So Taylor has released a new authentication tool which is very similar with this Laravel UI, which is something called Laravel Bridge. It is also a composer package. So first we need to install that. This is the GitHub repository. As we can see, we have our src folder. Inside this src folder, we have not too much files, only few commands available. So if you go to the console, and inside this console we have install command. As we can see, inside this install command we have controllers, request, views, and many more. So it is indicating that when we will install all about Breeze via Composer, then it is going to add a developer dependency. After installing via Composer, next we need to install Breeze via Breeze installer. So if I back here, and inside this documentation, if I scroll down, here as we can see that we need to install the first command by using this Composer. So if I copy, back to terminal, first let's close my development server, and simply when we go inside our front end, so right now we don't have any like login and registration link, so we are going to generate via Laravel Breeze. So back to terminal, copy the command and paste it here, pressing enter. Wait for a while. It will take some time because it is going to install Laravel Breeze via Composer. Now as we can see that the installation has begun and it is installing Laravel Breeze, which is of version of 1.0.1. So before making this video, actually I had installed inside one more setup, so that's why in my case it is loading from cache. Otherwise in your system for the first time it will go and download that. So successfully we have downloaded our Laravel Breeze package. But keep in mind, if you go to the documentation again for the Laravel Breeze, go inside this src folder. Inside this src folder, we should have a console folder. Go inside this console, click on install command. So when we had installed via Composer, what we installed, as we can see, actually it has added only our developer package. It has not installed all these like scaffolding files. So after installing this via Composer, next we need to download our scaffolding files by using our install command. So it will go and download the controllers, request, views and many more. So go back, go a step, one back, again one back. Now as we can see, we have another command. So if I copy, after installing this command means after running this command or execution, it will go and download all the required scaffolding files to our Laravel application. So if you go to our editor, right now inside this Laravel setup, we don't have any new files added. So if I back to terminal, go here and paste this command called PHP Artisan Breeze, what we have installed via Composer, and we are going to run our install to actually install, or let's say to scaffolding features. So if I press enter, as we can see that Breeze scaffolding installed successfully. Now we need to execute the command called npm install and npm run dev. So if I copy, go here, pasting it here. But before running this command, if I get rid of that, we are not going to install Node right now. So back to editor, go inside this routes folder, and as we can see that it has installed the scaffolding files. So we are going to find that. So first of all, we need to go inside this routes folder. We have a new file added called auth.php. Inside this auth.php, as we can see that we have several packages what we have imported. Inside this we have register, get request type, post request type. Again we have login with the get request type and with the post request type. So inside this auth.php we have several many more requests, as well as if you go to app folder, http, inside controllers, here we have a folder called auth, and inside this auth we have all the required files of this auth.php. And finally, to find our bleed templates, go inside this resources, views. Here we have a folder called auth, and inside this folder we have all the layouts or the blade templates of scaffolding of bridge. So if we go to terminal and let's run about PHP Artisan serve without installing npm packages, we are going to compile and execute our server. Go here, reload that, and as we can see that we are getting login and registration link at the welcome page. So when we click on this login page, we are getting a login page with the two fields called email address and the password, but as we can see that the page layout has been totally distorted. Again, go back, click on register. Now we have a register page with the name, email, password and confirm password, but it is totally distorted. So how can we correct? Simply we need to actually compile our source code. So for that we need to run npm install and npm run dev. It is going to bootstrap or compile our application. So let's run our npm commands. So npm install and npm run dev. Why we have used AND operator? Because if we don't use AND operator, so these are two commands. The first command is npm install. We need to run, or let's say we need to execute separately. After running this npm install, in the second command we need to run npm run dev. But I'm going to actually run these two commands at a single command line, so simply we need to use AND operator. These two commands we are executing parallelly. So pressing enter, we need to wait for a while because it is going to bootstrap our application files like CSS and JavaScript files, and as we can see that now the process has been started. So successfully, as we can see that npm packages has been installed, but now it is going to compile the application files. So we need to wait few seconds more because our application modules, as we can see, the building process has been started. app.css, so in the same it is going to compile also app.js file. So wait for a while, and successfully guys, as we can see that our files totally now compiled. So if I type php Artisan serve, again I'm going to start our development server, pressing enter. So the port 8001 is now serve our application. Go here, reload this page. So when we click on the login link, now we have a proper layout of login page with the correct CSS. Go back, click on register, and here we have the perfect layout for the registration page called name, email, password and confirm password. When we click on already registered, so here we have, let's say, forget password. So here we have the forget password layout where we need to pass our email address, and inside this email it will send a verification email address. So successfully guys, inside this video we had seen all about Laravel bridge concept. In the next video we will do some changes over the generated scaffolding files and see that if we want, let's say, to change this label, or we want some more fields inside this login, or let's say for the registration page, so how can we customize all about bridge layouts. So for this video session guys, thank you for watching and have a great day.